Good morning. Well, it's morning here for me right now. Anyway, welcome to those of you who did not meet me at the recent meeting that we had with your group last week or two. I'm Dr. Susan Wiers. I am a Michigan AHEC faculty IPE champion, and I'm one of three with AHEC. I will be your instructor faculty this summer. You've been through year one, so you have a rough idea what it's about, but year two is a little different. You guys are going to be doing it sort of rapidly. So I am going to share my screen with you. We're going to take a walk around Moodle. We'll talk about the syllabus, the transformation project, and contact information. And so hopefully get you started. The course is supposed to be up and running on May 1st. If not very soon, it would be Monday at the latest, but I'm pretty sure it'll be up and running May 1st. And you will have access to this recording at the beginning. So here we go. Okay, here we are. You all know what the AHEC Scholars website looks like. I'm going to give you a tour around year two because year one for this past cohort that's just wrapping up now. Your course is not quite 100% ready, which is this one here. It's still hidden. Jill is still working on putting things in. We've got it pretty well sorted out. So it will look different than this. There will be a recording, a different one than this video from me. I'll have a different one. So you will have some check-ins. I think you probably will only have 2 this summer. I could be mistaken. And that will be Mr. Leon Hudson will be reaching out to you in some format. I think he shoots out some kind of survey a couple times, and you have to report I'm sorry, that's the clinical training survey rather. You're going to have to report your hours and whatever else he requests of you. We will do some scholars check-ins, and I'm going to show you, we'll have those deadlines and those dates coming up. I guess we don't have it quite figured out. I was trying to understand what your schedule best would work best for you guys, and Dr. Price had gotten back with me last night, so I just need to go figure it out. But the AHEC Scholar check-ins are designed. I'm doing a little differently than we've done. It's always been remote, narrative kind of thing, asynchronous. I'm going to do 4 because I want to keep you guys on schedule. And 2 of those 4 at least will be in person. And if you, for some reason, are unable to attend at that time, it will be recorded. And then some will just be virtual, particularly the last one. But I want to keep you on task because things are going to go rapidly this summer. And I know you have a lot of other competing demands, but I also know that your project will be consistent with what your current course instructor for this summer will be expecting. So clinical training survey, we already discussed. There is a pre-test and a post-test, and you'll have this that will look very similar. You will not have emerging issues. We transitioned that out over this year, so you already had that content in year one, and so you will not be seeing that. This will be a practice transformation into professional practice, has to do with patient safety and from a more of an organizational level. So the first module will be Dr. Telemingris. And these due dates clearly will be different. I've got them all sort of hammered out right now, and it should be pretty clear when things are due. And so he's an expert in organizational safety issues, and there is a follow-up one with Dr. Gibson Scipio is only one part. We've added some things to that. There is an article regarding safety in primary care in general, and then she talks about transitions of care from those who transition from during that transition out of teenage years to a young adulthood where they start making decisions for themselves. That's a area that often gets missed. And so between those two, we have a couple of short quizzes. In the past, it has been long narratives, but these will be quizzes. And if you've read through the content and explored the web pages, then you should be in good shape. There are included in this are going to be some links. And I highly recommend you look at those carefully because there are some ideas about that are already developed by ARC and in terms of projects. So you could take one of those and implement them into your site if it seems appropriate. And we'll talk a little bit about what that means in terms of being appropriate. So it will look a little different than that. And it's meant to really help you. There will still be the telehealth training portion, and there is a pre-test and a post-test survey. And then there are additional there are videos in there. So there is this one with Dr. Shackman, and then also 2 videos in here of it done well and done poorly. So there are several things regarding interprofessional practice and patient safety. There's not the emerging health, and each week you'll have something due. We estimate the amount of time it should take you to get through each one. That doesn't include the evaluation time, but we've really pared that down by pretty much eliminating any narrative summaries that you have to write. But these modules are all designed to help you to the final thing, which is your quality improvement project. So it will look better than this. I threw some files in when I started this in January in terms of helping you out in terms of writing an executive summary. There is how to make an academic poster, and I understand you need to have a logic model for your program anyway, so we'll have you turn that in. So you'll have 3 documents that you will need to do for us. One is an executive summary that goes to your organization. You need to, and then we give you some tips on how to do that. There is the poster presentation. So those 2 documents I need, it's sometime in July I put as the due date. And the idea is that I have time to give you some feedback to make them more concise perhaps, or a little more scholarly, or visually appealing in terms of the poster. And I can get that information to you and back to you in time to make revisions before the end of your semester. There are examples of a particular QI project that was done with the poster and PDSA. It also includes an example of a proposal. So what you need to do is, what will be new this semester is you need to submit to me a proposal. So basically you're going to identify what the problem is. You're going to briefly describe the problem and its consequences. So what's the impact on populations, on the organization, with the triple aim in mind. In addition to that, and the triple aim and the quadruple aim, which is adding one more component, you'll be reading about those in your modules there. So that will be part of that too. And so it has to have to do with cost, access, patient satisfaction, and also the experience of the provider. So for example, last semester, in terms of the latter, one group looked at the mental health of providers in COVID, and they did a really nice little, they had an app, they used I think it's Headspace, Mindspace, I don't remember what it's called, and they would send out prompts for the providers to spend a little time doing some more meditation, mindfulness kind of activity. And then they surveyed them. So it's very important. It's not research. This is evidence-based practice. You will be finding something that is evidence-based and then doing an intervention at your sites. My understanding is that you should be able to implement. But if it's a site you can't implement for some reason, and students did implement remotely by Zoom, you have to do some modifications. But my understanding is you're in your sites, there's no reason you can't implement, but we have to hurry you along at getting something picked out. So you've got a faculty for your course, but it really needs to also meet our needs. It has to be primary care. So in an ambulatory care kind of setting, it has to involve interprofessional relationships and working and collaborating with somebody from another profession. Now, you're all social work students, and normally in AHEC Scholars, we've got all kinds of students. In your case, your interprofessional person will be at the site. And truly, we do not work in silos when we're doing quality improvement. You have to consider who the other stakeholders are. It could be the director of nursing or a nursing manager. It could be a physician on site. And you also really need to often use perhaps like medical assistants, and not that they are professionals in the same way we think of it, but you do need to consider their point of view and how is this going to affect their workflow, for example, particularly if you are expecting something out of them behavior-wise. So I am more than willing to talk with you guys about that. I actually will be checking in with you before you have to turn in a topic submission and a proposal. So you need to actually have a formal proposal, and it really will serve as you'll use some of that proposal when you're actually writing your executive summary. So it's helpful to have that done well in advance anyway. So that's pretty much the practice transformation project. You guys were supplied with a draft of what that will look like, and it hasn't changed a whole lot at this point in time. It will be uploaded also in Moodle. The syllabus, I will go over the year 2 syllabus a little bit, but it has changed a great deal. I have simplified this. Let's see, here it is. But we will go over some things because it does give some things that are not. So Dr. Gibson Scipio was the original faculty for this, and I took over in January. So as you know, it's a 2-year program, and the intent of Michigan AHECs and AHEC in general, across the nation, the intent and the mission is to cultivate a diverse workforce that is educated to serve underserved populations and to sort of improve that access to care gap. Particularly those in urban and rural health areas. So we're looking at, and so you have to have some kind of didactic, which are the courses, the modules I've supplied you with, in addition to community-based training activities, and that is the stuff you're doing right now for your course this summer or whenever that starts. And so that is your community-based training activity. Hopefully, it's in an underserved population. Now I don't really know what it looks like for you guys. You guys might you might have 4 or 5 of you at a site, and so you'll work together, or you might have to work across sites. So if you're one student solo at your site, you might be implementing at your site with your other students participating maybe remotely, and not everybody has to be physically at the same place to do this. And you think about the 6 core topics that you learned about for this program, and think about applying those. Like I said, the AHEC site has wonderful resources in terms of, things to consider, like teach back, for example. Nurses are big on teach back. We're not going to talk a lot about this. Online etiquette, be nice to each other, okay? So the course is asynchronous. There isn't anything I do synchronously other than meet with you guys from time to time, and that's sort of newer. I program withdrawal if, I hope at this point in time you're not withdrawing, but please touch base with your faculty, particularly Dr. Price would want to know that, and I would like to know that also. People disappear sometimes, we don't know. This has changed a bit. We're not doing the emerging issues. We are doing the pre and post. Some things have changed, so I'm not going to go into great detail there. But the practice transformation is pretty much the same. The thing that has changed sort of dramatically is this patient safety thing. There are some things that are new in there, and some things that are have been there a while, and quizzes instead of long-term essay kinds of things. So it should be less burdensome on you. And at the end, you need to do a clinical training report. Let's see. So I am going to you will have my contact information. I gave it to you guys before. And so feel free to email me. And an easy way to do it is Susan.Wiers, W-I before E, Dr. Wiers at Wayne.edu. I also gave it, I think I supplied you with a phone number. Use that judiciously. And what that means is don't be texting me every day. Um, but if you have something you need to convey quickly and get a response, you can do that. And I think that is pretty much what I wanted to show you today. So you will have a calendar that uh, a course calendar that is something I'm adding to the course newly this year, which will give you due dates of things and keep you moving. And I'm going to try to keep you on pace. And if you run into any questions, something that's a little confusing because some of the stuff is new and the bugs haven't necessarily been worked out, then please contact me. All right, very good. I hope this was helpful to you. I'll be seeing you again soon, and best of luck on good work done this summer and getting through things. And we'll be seeing you soon. Bye.